I didn't believe in my business for months, and then one day I did. And then from that day forward, here we are. So it took me months and months and months and months to understand my business is booming. I'm helping millions of people. No, period. My runway for how long it took was months. Like it kind of worked in 48 hours, but it took me months to get to the mindset that made it work in 48 hours. But once that shit came through and it started working, then it was really exciting. I was like, oh my God, this works. What is up, my fellow dreamers and soul searchers? Welcome to the Roxy Talks Manifestation Podcast, your raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic source for all things manifestation related. I'm Roxy Lee, and for the last decade, I have been researching and developing my signature 360 method, which combines behavioral science, quantum physics, and the law of attraction to help you manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams. Visit roxytalks.com for more info. Now, let's get into it. Aquarian says, I'm gonna do the 360 method for sure because, baby, I can't keep living like this. That's how I felt too. I couldn't keep living the way I was living. I needed a change. And I wouldn't say it was like a rock bottom moment. It wasn't like that, but it was kind of a like, I can't go on like this. Like if I keep living and thinking and feeling and worrying and doubting and all the stuff the way that I am, nothing is going to change. I'm going to keep manifesting this life. I have to do something about it. And so that's when I changed I only had 4 affirmations in the beginning. When I told you, like when I was first starting out with building 360, like the practice of it, I didn't yet understand affirmations. So I had 4 of them, and that's all I would say all day long, unless I was on a sales call. So like if I was talking to somebody, obviously I was checked in. So like I'm talking about like my work, because I was 8 hours in my job and I desperately wanted out. So I would sit there and think these 4 thoughts for 8 hours. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm fucking saying? I said 4 things and nothing else for 8 hours straight for months. And that's just because I didn't fully understand it, right? This is the beginning of me figuring it all out, but it fucking changed everything. So when you get a hold of your affirmations, and I'll tell you what they were, and they all came true. I'm in alignment with my soul's highest calling. The work I do is in alignment with my soul's highest purpose, which are very similar fucking affirmations. I'm 100% in control of my dominion. I literally barely understood affirmations, and all the money that I make comes 100% from my own products, ideas, and whatever. All of those are true. 100% true right now to this day. And I don't suggest only doing 4 unless that works for you. And maybe it worked for me because I might have ADHD. And so it was like just these 4 thoughts. So I'm not like all over the place. That's it. Just these 4, period. And I can laser focus because I have that ability to hyper focus. So it was easy for me once I dedicated it to. I'm the kind of person that's like, if I'm on it, I'm on it. Like I've said before, like watch out world, here I fucking come. Once I decide I'm doing it, nothing's stopping me, period. Unless I just change my mind, right? That's why I designed 360 was to help you get a hold of the ones you're saying and then rewrite new ones so you don't have to use just 4. And so that you have affirmations for every aspect of your life, for whatever comes up in your mind, whatever comes up in your 3D reality, whatever happens, you have affirmations already set up for that. And then you're already used to cycling through. You already know how to run your affirmations. You already know how to think. So when the think pops up, you know how to respond to it the way that you want to get to your desired reality. So that's what 360 is about. It's just awareness and discipline broken down, granular levels, thought by thought, day by day, minute by minute. That's what it's about. In my opinion, that's how I developed my practice and my program. And so, and maybe it is because I might have ADHD, and that's sound like for somebody, I needed a fucking something like you stay on this path only, period. That's it. And so I really had to corral myself for a long time. But once I did that, that became its own habit. And now it's easy for me to just think whatever I want. Because I'm so used to choosing my thoughts in accordance with where I want to go that they just do it automatically for the most part. But I'm always watching because of the awareness and discipline part. So if they don't, I catch it and I redirect it. And if I don't, I keep working on it every day and eventually I'm going to uncover it. Leanne said, for those of you asking for advice on letting go, Roxy has a mini course about it. Yeah, so I just put up a mini course about letting go last week. It is a replay from a live program I did last summer about letting go. So if you've already done the letting go from last summer, this is that. So don't rebuy it. If you end up doing it, we'll give you something else in exchange. So that's what it is. So if you were able to make it to my last summer workshop for letting go, you don't want to get the letting go mini course on my website because you already have it. If you can't find it or you can't find the file, you can email us and Leanne can look you up and send you the copy in case you lost the replay or whatever. Shantae says, I love it when you explain how you figured it out. I don't know how you only had 4 at first. I don't either, but I didn't have anything else. I didn't understand it like I'm going to say this. There were a few people that I learned from before, like right before I came out, who were talking about manifesting in a way that helped me understand it more. There wasn't a whole lot of people out there talking about manifesting the way that I talk about it before I started my YouTube channel. So I really had to figure all this out on my own. I didn't know that every thought was an affirmation. I figured that out along the way. I figured that out through coaching and people and stuff. Or maybe I figured out through that process or whatever. And I didn't understand the gravity of the fact that you're always manifesting every moment of the day. So there's never, you can never just be off. You can't just like be lax sometimes. Like, oh, I mean, you can, but you're not going to get what you want very easily or very quickly. So it became like, it wasn't necessarily do or die, but it kind of was, because I felt like I was never going to start my business if something didn't change. I had to do something. It kind of just was like, I have to do this and I have to figure it out, and nothing is more important. I had to understand it. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I had to figure it out. I had to, because this is my destiny. I'm supposed to be here giving this information to you. I had to figure it out. I had to figure that shit out with 4. I had to fucking go through my day and say 4 things for 8 fucking hours straight to understand it so that I could share it and show you and continue doing it still to this day and guiding. Like, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have given the message the way that I needed to help change the world in the way that I am without understanding it first and doing it myself. Is excessively affirming the only way to reprogram your mind? I can't answer that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a neuroscientist. I don't know. And I kind of want to pick apart when you said excessively affirming. When we talked about what I did earlier, when I changed my whole mindset, I don't think I was excessively affirming. I was doing the Lord's work of rewriting my fucking ticker of thoughts, because I wasn't obsessed with like making the money now, being the coach now, whatever. I was obsessed with, I have got to think differently about myself and my life. I have to think like this. I have to think that this is the way life is. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, my brain's going back. I'm kind of like reliving where I was in that moment. I said I was doing that for 8 hours. That's a little bit of a stretch, because I would take breaks during my day because I had to walk my dogs. So I'd have to take several breaks during the day. And once I got into my breaks, the second my leashes, the leashes hit my hand, I had trained myself to go on an affirmation rampage. So then I would just be like, or like a gratitude rampage. So then I would just be like, I'd go outside and I'd be thinking the day, thinking the dog, thinking the whatever, thinking for money. So let me say, it wasn't just those 4 thoughts for those 8 hours, but when I was sitting at that desk, if I was not on the phone with somebody, it was those 4 thoughts. And then when I went out to, do my dog walks, that's when I would really just soak up gratitude and be really appreciative and like be daydreaming and really excited about my life. And just, I was trying to put myself into the emotional space of where I needed to be, like, because of what all the law of attraction, rhetoric had said, is like, you got to feel it. Feeling is the process. You got to match the energy of all that stuff. So I was doing this double duty of rewriting my thoughts, like really hyper focused. Again, I don't think it was excessive. It was that if I didn't think the thought I chose, I was going to think something else that was going to keep me where I didn't want to live anymore. So is it excessive to switch that thought, or is it doing exactly what I needed to change my life? That's the way I looked at it. I wasn't like overthinking. I was thinking by choice, one after the other, 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 after the other. And pretty soon, if you see this, there's no room for another thought to creep in there, because I'm choosing what thought gets thought next, and which thought gets thought next, and which thought gets thought next. And I would just do that for the entire time I was at work, because that's when I was thinking horrible thoughts. I hate my life. I fucking hate this. I'm going to die here. I hate blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of stuff I would write. So that's how I retrained my mind. That's how I changed my story. That's how I changed my life. That's how I changed the way my subconscious reacts. That's how I, changed my response to triggers. Is that the only way? No, I'm of course it can't be, right? I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I listen to like Andrew Huberman, neuroscientist, and he just talks about all kinds of fucking shit in the brain, the processes and stuff. I'm not a scientist. So I have a degree in behavioral science, but behavioral science is not like practical science. So I guess I guess maybe I am a fucking scientist. I don't know. But I've never been like, I was always into the arts. I was always into humanities and relationships and connections. And that's why I study behavioral science, because I've always been fascinated with why people do what they do and understanding human behavior and human nature. But like, science. Like I'd rather be playing a song or something. So for me, this is like my way of rewiring my brain and rewriting my story and changing my reality is how I teach it, because that's what worked for me. And I can't speak on other people's practices and approaches, because not them. And I didn't do that. I did what I did. So if this type of approach resonates with you, this shit works. It works. Again, I've never said it's the only thing, but if you do work it, this motherfucker will work. But it requires focus. It requires dedication. It requires awareness and discipline. I always say that. And I believe personally that the only way that I will continue to manifest what I want all the time is if I stay aware and disciplined, if I don't let myself slip, if I don't let myself go back to my old self or my old ways of thinking. And I know that because I have before and I've seen what happened, and it just goes right back to where it used to be. And so then I have to keep myself, it's like a volleyball, or like if you had like a tennis ball and you had a racket and you were just like doing this, you're like keeping the ball up. This is what it's like. You don't want to let it touch the ground like a hacky sack or some shit. If it touches the ground, you pick it up and you go back again. You don't leave it down there. So all of the like awareness and discipline and practicing every single day, every thought, no days off, no thoughts off, no subjects off, made it so now I'm very aware of what I'm thinking when I'm thinking it. And if I don't like it, I switch it. And then manifestations just happen. I don't have to like I don't really focus on manifestations at all. I focus on like what I want. Like, what do I want? Cool. Put your sentences to support it. That's it. That's literally it. If I want it, then my sentences are going to start reflecting it, period. How do I stop caring about how my clients find me and just believe they will? Okay, so first off, just letting you know, I'm going to be hosting a business mastermind starting in January. Pre-sale for that is going to open up this month. And by the way, pre-sale for my mastermind will come with a one-on-one consultation with me, which is like, I've never done that before. So like I said, I really don't like, my one-on-one time is like super, super sacred to me at this point. So I just really don't, offer it much up. So for those who are joining my mastermind, I am going to give you a consultation just so I can get to know you, get to be clear on what's going on with your business and what you're focusing on. And then again, we'll be in a high level coaching environment with other business owners for 3 months. Again, that's going to be starting in January, but pre-sale starts this month. And if you're on my email list, I will be announcing it through there, or I'll be, emailing about that, giving you the opportunity to sign up. Why I'm saying that is because if you want to be in a space with other people who are going through the same stuff and know how to do it, and you can kind of bounce ideas off of them as well, not just me, the business mastermind is definitely where you're going to want to be. Okay. So believing in your clients, it's a practice. I didn't believe in my business for months, and then one day I did. And then from that day forward, here we are. So it took me months and months and months and months to understand my business is booming. I'm helping millions of people. No, period. It took me a few months to get that. I started 30 Days of Alignment on June 1st. By July, it was the 3rd week of July, I quit my job that I had, been wanting to quit. So it took me like a month and a half of being super on top of my shit to finally be like, okay, I can do this. And then August and September, I was building. I had no income, no money. My husband was the only one working. I didn't have any money coming in at all. And I just had to motherfucking believe. I was scared to tell. I didn't want our parents. I didn't want him to tell his parents. I was scared to tell my parents. And I just didn't want their like, what are they going to do? I didn't want any of that energy on my manifestations, on my whatever. So I just kind of just kept it to myself and just like busted my fucking ass to build my business. Then at the beginning of October, I built the logistic part of my business over this one weekend. My husband, his grandmother passed away. So he went to her funeral and I stayed here. And so he was gone for like 4 days. And I was just like the kid in Never Ending Story. I was literally sitting on my floor with a blanket around my chest or my shoulders. I would be I'd make macaroni and cheese and I'd be eating it out of the pot, like literally macaroni from the pot, just like just working like a mad person, just from sun up to sundown. And by the time he got back, I had a website, I had the master class, I had email system set up, I had my channel was ready to go. I did it all over these 4 days of like not sleeping and just like super hyper focus. I'm not saying you should do that. That's just what I did. And then over the next few weeks, I really started I was working on how I was thinking about my business. And then one day I realized I was realizing I was calling it the little engine that could. It's slow going, it's working, it's going good, but like that. And then one day I was like, why the fuck am I talking about my business like that? Like, okay, that's stupid. How about business is booming? let's choose that. And so I changed my attitude about it. Like right then, nope, sorry, it's booming. And then within like 2 days, everything changed. Like my runway for how long it took was months to get me to the point where it took 2 days for it to happen. That makes sense, right? Like it kind of worked in 48 hours, but it took me months to get to the mindset that made it work in 48 hours. Honestly, like I'm the kind of person that like I can dive into something and like get really fucking deep in it. But I can also like get really lost and like overwhelmed and do like take on too much. So at the time I didn't have anything else. I didn't have a business. I had nothing else. I didn't have a job. This has got to work, period. This has to fucking work. And I had that freedom of like, no distractions and nobody else around. I didn't have to do anything except like let my dogs out. And so it was just like, that's all I did. I sat on the fucking floor, blanket around my shoulders, listening to like affirmations or meditation music. And I built a fucking business from nothing. That was almost, I guess like the little over 3 years ago. So the anniversary was the beginning of October, like I said. So Shantae says, geez, that's such an exciting 48 hours. No, it wasn't. It was the 48th hour that was exciting. The 48 hours was not exciting. It was just my business is booming. My business is booming. I'm helping millions of people. I was changing my thought. But once that shit came through and it started working, then it was really exciting. I was like, oh my God, this works. It says, my tarot reader reads my palm and sees a strong money line and often tells me that she has no idea why I'm not a millionaire now because clearly I'm supposed to be wealthy. I have to clean up whatever is blocking. Do you define yourself as a millionaire now? My head's like, I know I do, and so actually it's calling me out on something because I have a goal of being a millionaire by 40, which I'm turning 39 next week. So it's my year to do it. So like, that's just what it is, period. This is the year I become a millionaire. And there is nothing else that can go in my mind about that, right? Like, that's it. That's it. That's it. This is my year to become a millionaire by 40. And, I talk about writing my goals down every single day. Guess what I'm writing down every day? I'm a millionaire by 40, which I know it's like, I'm putting that on a time, but my mind's able to wrap around it. And I'm able to I can get there mentally on that. So that's where I'm at with that. And so if you're born to be wealthy, then that's who you are. I'm born to be wealthy. And bitch, I have a song called Born to be Wealthy on iTunes. If you want to just put it on, you can listen to it every morning. It's an affirmation track. Malachi did the beat. You can do your twerk-festing to it. Trademark, and it's not trademark. Copyright. Don't steal twerk-festing. We came up with that. I have a song called Born to be Wealthy. Put that dang thing on. Listen to it every day. Put that what if it's your back? I'm not saying make your background of your phone me, but what if born to be wealthy is your background of your phone? If you're born to be wealthy, what does that mean? What is when we extrapolate, when we expand on that, what does that mean? I'm born to be wealthy. Well, wealth just comes to me. It's my birthright. I'm allowed to have it. I'm supposed to have it. I just get it. Sorry, I'm born with it. It's just my thing. Sorry about it. Can't really do anything about the fact that I'm born to be wealthy. Or whatever. You just kind of you're identifying in a different way than somebody who's trying to manifest wealth. I think I talked about it last week on mindset, but I definitely talked about it in the video from last week about self-concept. Are you the person who is born to be wealthy, or are you Tiffany now who doesn't have that money story trying to manifest wealth? Those are two different identities, two different self-concepts, and they're going to get you two different realities. Tommy says, on the topic of wealth, I've been changing my spending and budgeting habits. Before, I'd obsessively budget, watch my spending like a hawk, sit in an energy of lack. Now I need it, I buy it. Yep. And it's, really being comfortable releasing and being excited to release money and being excited for how it's going to come back, being excited for what you get to, experience because you release that money, what it brings you, obviously being grateful for what you're paying for is what I'm trying to say, but thinking of it in a different way. I'm releasing these pieces of paper or I'm swiping my plastic. It literally does nothing to me and I'm getting this thing for it. That's fucking awesome. Thank you. Money, whatever you are. It's a crazy concept. You said, as a result, I got a bigger paycheck this month than anticipated. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. We love money and money loves us. The process of becoming the version of you that naturally manifests the money is a requirement to naturally manifest the money, right? You said you want to talk about money manifesting. You only want money in your business. You don't want to work a job. I'm also going to be starting up a business mini mastermind in January. I'll be emailing my email list. If you're not on my email list, I would suggest going to my website and just downloading something for free. Download my 30 days of alignment. If you click the free resources tab, some stuff will pop down. You can get my free Manifest with Specific Person masterclass. If you download one of my free things on my website, you'll get on my email list. And then I'm going to be emailing out about my business mastermind this month because I'm going to be doing pre-sale for the business mastermind. And this is something that's going to be just for business owners. This is higher level coaching. This will be small, higher level coaching with high level support. And it's going to be just for business owners, entrepreneurs, artists, creatives, influencers, that kind of the people who are kind of doing their own thing, who's working on bringing in money through their craft. We'll be hosting that. So there's a lot, and I've been just like telling you all these things, but I basically, I have a wide array of ways you can work with me. And it just kind of like depends on like what you have for your budget, what, you're looking for commitment wise. I host monthly trainings that are just like 1 to 2 hours that are low, low price so that you can come in and get with the group and we talk for a few hours and then we get off. I like to say, get in, get out, get the information, go apply it. That's the master trainings. And then I also am hosting live group programs, and everything I've talked about below are already, if you're in Synergy, you get access to that. Synergy covers all of my group coaching, all of my programs, all of my courses, all of my workshops. You get access to all of anything that's like classroom related, group coaching related, that is in Synergy. And then for higher level mentorship, I have the longer one-on-one mentorship packages, and then my business mastermind won't be a year long or anything like that. It's going to be 3 months. That's starting in January. So sorry for all the things. Our homework this week is going to be practical. It's going to be a practical exercise, which means it requires awareness and discipline. We have to stay on top of our awareness and discipline this week. So what I want you to do is we're looking out for the imposter voice, the doubt voice, the I'm not confident voice, the I don't think I could, that voice. And we're going to fucking shut up. Tell it to shut up. Remember earlier someone asked me like, if I could be anyone, who would I be? And I said like, ideal me, like most confident me, like hands down, of course. Maybe that's who we're thinking about. So we're keeping that person like on retainer essentially. And that's the version of you that's like already beat the imposter syndrome, right? That version of you has already beat the imposter syndrome. That's why they have the thing. So keeping that person on speed dial, keeping them on lock, keeping them on retainer, and then being very conscious of like when you're going about your art, when you're going about your passion, when you're thinking about money, when you're thinking about possibility, when you're thinking about what's going to happen, you are watching out for the imposter voice or the doubt voice or the hater voice, whatever we want to call it. And you're redirecting and you're pumping yourself up. We're going to practice believing in ourselves in the area of our passions. How about that? Does that work? And it could be for anything you're passionate about. This homework this week is I just want everyone to be really conscious of watching out for that voice, the doubting voice, the imposter voice, the you can't do it voice, the why, who would pay you for that? Or how come you, or why should you get it? Those kinds of thoughts. You're not actually unworthy of having what you want. You just have a program that tells you that. So that's what our homework is this week. And maybe like put it on a sticky note or put it up somewhere where you can see it. Put it on your fridge or something. Put it on your phone. Put like daily reminders or something. But like really watching out for the imposter voice, the voice that says, not you, them, but not you. She can build a business from scratch and have no, like looking at me, right? Somebody asked here, how can I do that with no money? I just told you my story. I had no money. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. I had to borrow $39 from my friend to keep so that my card wouldn't get overdrafted so I could keep that program. So not, looking at me and being like, well, she did it, but I can't. No. She did it, and so can you. Oh, how about this? Here, extra credit. Taking an extra step. Every time that voice pops up, you not only redirect, you do something for your passion. When the imposter syndrome strikes, what you're going to do is support yourself. You're going to lean into your belief about your abilities and your ability. I just said that word, ability to do the thing that you have imposter syndrome about. And then your challenge is to do 1 minute of the thing you just said you can't do. If you want to be a musician and you have imposter syndrome, then every time you start to doubt, then I want you to go pick up your guitar and strum it for 1 minute. Do 1 minute of scales. Do 1 minute of vocal exercises. Sing your favorite song for 1 minute. If you're an actor and you feel imposter syndrome, do a 1 minute monologue. Go over a script. Write a script. Write 1 minute of a script. If you're like whatever, Mimi's like, bye, Roxy. Yes, bye, Roxy.